What's up, guys? 18.1 is officially in the books, and hopefully you guys all crushed it. I'm going to be coming here each and every week and presenting you guys some active recovery drills. Now, the whole goal with this is we're going to break down each segment of the WOD and kind of teach you some things and hopefully come away with it, and hopefully you'll be ready to crush next week's workout. So the first part we're going to be going over was the toes to bar. I know that was my toughest part personally, so there's going to be some things I'm going to hopefully give you guys, and I hope that it helps you out. So first thing we're going to be working on is actually kind of relieving our chest a little bit. So I know from that grip position, we go into a big stretch and a big pull. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the ground. We're going to take a softball or a lacrosse ball. We're going to lay directly on it and just get right into that position where your pec meets right into your shoulder. From here, you can kind of rotate, get a little bit of body weight pressure right onto it, and then start reaching that arm. And from that position right there, you can rotate side to side and start giving those pecs a little bit of love after all that work. Once we got that done, make sure you do both sides. So again, same thing, go ahead and lay directly on it first, get some body weight, and then start to press your arm out. And from there, you can rotate a little side to side action. Now for this, I recommend going for about a minute a side, or until you start feeling a little bit of relief or a sense of that muscle actually starting to stretch or relax out. The other part of the toes to bar that I really struggled with was that my abs were just killing me. I'm really feeling it today, and I'm sure some of you guys are as well. So there's a couple ways you can go about releasing these guys. You can actually lay on top of a ball, a Swiss ball, and put some contact pressure here and relax back over it. Or if you don't have a ball handy, you still use a lacrosse ball or a softball and take one of your wall balls, put it right there where you're nice and sore, and then using the ball, you can apply a little bit of light pressure all along those abs from side to side. I really recommend using like a 10 to 20 pound ball, nothing too heavy so you're not crushing yourself or pushing down against your intestines or anything too hard. With this, you can also work on getting in those deep hip flexors too. So it's a great way to start releasing that psoas muscle, a little bit of your iliacus as well. And same thing with this portion, you can actually go a little bit heavier on the ball, or you can push down a bit more pressure. Now because the two balls are actually cylinder shaped or spherical, they're going to roll really nicely. I know K-Star does a version before that a lot of you guys probably use with the lacrosse ball and a kettlebell smash. Which is great, but personally I've always had a little bit of struggle as far as kind of getting it to move nice and smoothly there. So go ahead and give those two exercises a try, and we're going to move on to our next component, which was our dumbbell clean to overhead press. So part two of the workout was that hang clean to overhead press. Now for a lot of you probably flew through that section, and then the next day you really started to feel it in your mid traps and upper traps. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to kind of relieve those muscles. And what we're going to do is take a long sock. If you have a soccer sock, that actually works a little bit better than a dress sock, and take a lacrosse ball. And you go ahead and put that guy in there. And then just go ahead and shake it so it goes all the way down the ball. And the reason why we're doing that is so rather than laying on the ground, what we're going to do is we're going to come to a wall. I can swing it over my shoulder. I can get at the very base of my traps. And using my body weight, I can now go up and down, side to side, and really start giving my traps a bit of love. And then I can really fine tune the position by pulling up on my sock and getting it right in the back of my shoulder blades. So there's a lot easier way instead of rolling on the ground, where a lot of people you might either get right on the spot you want and then it rolls away from you, or you can't find it at all, or you kind of just feel like you're just kind of withering on the ground. This is a much easier and more effective way to get into that. Now, the next one I like to do a lot is we're going to go to a rig. You can also do this against a wall or anything else. A column that'll work just fine. But we're going to give this section of our traps and our levator scap some love. So this is one of my favorite drills that I give to all of my weightlifters, and it's really kind of a game changer. So we're going to come into a lunge position. We're going to take the ball here. We're going to apply pressure and using our body weight. So from that position there, once you have that, you can go ahead and move your neck away from that position and coming back. And as you do that, you're going to find you get a real nice intense stretch, a real good trigger point right along the upper traps and into that levator scap. And with both exercises, I always want to do both sides, so make sure you're giving them some good amount of time on side to side. About a minute or 2 minutes is great, or until you start to feel those muscles really kind of relax and give way. And the final portion of 18.1 was, of course, the calorie row. So for most of you, that probably wasn't too difficult, but we might be having a little bit of spasm in our low back, so we just want to kind of work on releasing those muscle groups. So I would really recommend on going down, it's just kind of our couch stretch. So again, really kind of releasing those hip flexors, getting really comfortable with that. And then once you kind of got that on both sides, going into a couple of different spinal flexion movements. So things like child's pose and cat-cow. So going back into our child's pose here, really just kind of decompressing the low back, let it stretch out. You're going to hang up there for about a minute to 2 minutes. And then I really recommend going into Again, a little bit of cat-cow, just kind of getting a little bit of relief in those deeper muscles of the back that were really stressed out during 18.1. Cool. And we're just going to wrap up with one final drill for you guys to work on, and that's just because a lot of you guys, I'm sure, experience some major forearm fatigue, so we really want to work on working out those deep muscles of the forearm. So you can go ahead and just sit down in a chair, get a nice stable desk, putting pressure down into your forearm and using your lacrosse ball. And again, we're just trying to give them just a little bit of love, kind of making sure that our grip is ready to go for next week, so I can guarantee it's going to be tough and challenging as always. And there's one area where people tend to kind of neglect and forget about is those forearms and how important they are as far as the grip of your actual hands as well. So again, making sure you're getting both sides with that. You can get the backs as well. You can even get a little bit into your biceps and elbow with a little bit of a kind of what we call like a walnut nutcracker type movement right here.